fuck it. Can't be any worse than the base title. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Serge, and we are here today to. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. We're here to review the demo of Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This is just so you know, take two. I did a whole other set of this recording, and there was no sound. So, we're just going to keep the ball rolling, and we're going to get right into this, what would you call it? Cluster. Let's go with cluster. So Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires is looking to be very, very scary territory for a lot of fans. If you've never played a Dynasty Warriors game in your life, guess what? This probably won't be the one for you, which is sad to say because Empires games are usually the ones that I use to introduce people to the franchise. Sad. So, how does this one stack up? Well, let's start with something positive, and then we'll move into everything else. Take it away. So let's start with a positive. The Create a Warrior Suite. This thing is back, and it is beautiful. They went and incorporated the system from Niho. So now you have more of a layering system instead of a part system. And this is actually a good thing. Being able to take layers upon layers of your stuff and stack it on top of each other, meaning that you can actually put proper robes on and then still put armor on top of it, and you can even choose if you want to keep the armor showing in certain areas, like when you're in town or when you're foraging through the wilds. It's a very interesting scenario. But the best thing about this is that they've gotten more detailed with the create system. I was messing around for a couple minutes and I just happened to realize how much more detailed it had gotten, where you can actually literally just do everything with the face, from the sizing of the jaws, the cheek line, and moving everything around. I dare to say that this create system is on par with wrestling games, WWE games specifically. To me, those games have always been the standard bearer of a good create system, and now here in Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, we have that. Except there's just one small thing that held it back for me, and that was the sizing. Back in the other games, you could literally make your fat character feel like a fat character, your muscle character feel like a muscle character, your skinny guy looks and feels like a skinny guy. This game, I didn't get that sense too much, and take it as you will, but to me, if I want my guy's Bella to be out there to look sexy in front of the world, it needs to happen. There is one other small issue with the create system here that I have, and it also ties into the battle system, but I'll be getting into that a little bit later. And speaking of battle, let's talk about the invasions and the defense missions. So let's start with the invasion portion. The invasions are, so to say the least, the invasions and the defense missions are nothing more than a huge variant based off of the actual siege mechanic from 9, which was done better in 9. Doing things here is a little bit rough. Taking over bases and such to actually be able to do your siege weapons is lame, as they're not really bases as so much as they are just points on the map. The only real bases here are the main camps where the enemy and your forces lay. The only people in those camps until the end of the battle are the people in charge. So in this case, Dongzhuo and Yuan Shao in this particular battle. I will say that the AI in this is absolutely rubbish. It literally pinpointed my exact location with all 5 of their main warriors chasing me around the map. And if you pay attention to the morale bar at the top, you'll notice that my ally force meter is dropping, but no one is attacking my allied forces, but yet somehow they're all dying. Yes, this is probably the worst AI I've ever seen in an Empires game, or actually in Dynasty Warriors as a whole. It's absolutely atrocious. And speaking of the AI, if you've noticed by now, I've been getting attacked quite a bit, and there's been a weird little shield-like thing appearing around my character. Well, that goes into the other thing that I neglected to talk about right away with the crate system. So in the game currently, at least from this demo standpoint, there is a rock paper scissors system involved. It has to do with your army unit, which you say that your actual character is. So in this particular case, you have infantry, cavalry, and archery. If you pick one of those, one beats the other. In this case, I picked infantry. Infantry beats everything on the field right now because, believe it or not, everybody on this field of battle is mainly cavalry. And if I was playing archery, then I would get stomped out probably. But I'm not. So my issue with this is two things. One, you just missed a huge potential to actually use the strategist model or the commander model or stuff like that as other types to expand more on this idea, much like actual war tactics games would. And the other issue that I have with this is that I can't really tell what this does. I'm still losing the same substantial amount of life that I would if I was being attacked. So I can't tell if there's a difference. There's no stopping in knockback. There's no stopping in stun. It's all still happening. So I don't really get the point of this whole little system that they've added. Another positive that I will say about this, though, coming out of the demo, is the final thing that I've been kind of wanting from Dynasty Warriors 9 all along. The battle music not changing due to situations. I love the battle music just going non-stop, and the only time it changes is depending on the conditions of the battle. If you're losing, you actually get the losing theme. If you're winning, you actually get the winning theme. It's like playing old Dynasty Warriors through, well, actually 2 through 5. And that, for me, is absolutely amazing. It actually keeps me more intrigued in the gameplay. Does it make the issues with this blur out less? No. But does it make me more immersed in what I'm doing? Yes. And this is part of the issue that I had with 9. When the music changed, the pacing changed, and then suddenly it took me out of everything. But if you just keep the music going, it actually helps keep the attention of the player just a little bit more. At least I think so. Personal opinion, take it as you will. And so now let's get to the final parts of this battle. You actually get to completing the battle, at least in the invasion part of this, by simply completing the siege itself. Capture all the points, get the siege ramp, get the actual rams, and then once you've gained entry into the enemy base, you will then be treated to the final part of the battle. However, this is the part that annoys me. I spent all that time getting the enemy's morale bar down, getting rid of all their troops, for them to get a final push moment and have them all appear back in the base after being defeated for one last push at you. This irks my nerves for two reasons. One, this now means that there doesn't seem to be a mechanic for reinforcements unless, of course, it's just not being shown here in the demo. And two, that, yeah, I went through all that trouble to get rid of all their troops and to make this part easier on myself. And now you're telling me that at the end, it doesn't even matter. Great. I hate to be a Linkin Park song, but here we go again. So, I spent all that time to do that, to have to fight all of them one last time in order to defeat Dongjuo, and then in this battle. Not the worst thing in the world, I guess, but also it makes it feel like all of your efforts during the battle are kind of mediocre or pointless at best. So, why even bother with fighting anybody? Just get the points, get the siege to happen, and then just end early. However, with that being said, on the defense side of things, if you're doing a defense mission, if you die, you die. That's it. Once you've lost all of your life points and died a second time afterwards, there's no final push moment. There's no everybody coming back inside of the main camp and helping out Yuang Shao or whomever you might be playing under at that time. It's just game over. So I kind of find this a little unbalanced, because if you die and they're showing that, oh, all these guys get to come back at the end moment of the battle, why can't that be a thing for your forces? Die 2 times, lose all the morale. Okay, I get that. Die one more time in the final fight, though. Give us that third and final chance. That's what I think. But who knows? Maybe the demo's not a complete representation of this. Maybe it's just a little bit off, or maybe this is exactly how they have it planned in the actual game. It's hard to say. The game's coming out in like another 2, maybe 3 more weeks. So if this is just coming out now for us, and this is what we're seeing, I get the distinct feeling that this will be how it will be in the actual game. I'm sorry for the will be. Is that weird that it sounds like I'm trying to like start up a rap song? So, how would I go about rating this? I'm not really sure how to rate this. I honestly think this is a terrible time compared to 8 Empires. 8 Empires, you had more to actually look at. They made you fully available to try all the fighting styles, or at least most of them, in the game. And best of all, they at least gave you everything that you begin the game with to start out to look at for all the different types and stuff. Here, you only get about maybe 4, and not to mention with the whole rock, paper, scissors thing being added into this, it's a little bit harder to kind of really make out how this is supposed to work. And then I noticed that at the bottom there's the favorite weapon 2 slot, and I didn't even get the chance to explore that because there's no option for it. So I don't even know what that means. Come when the game comes out, we might get to see it, but who knows. But my overall thoughts of this is that if this is the game that we're getting in the next couple weeks, and all this is just a small demo for it, I am hoping better, because God, this is leaving me wanting. Yes, there are a few small changes in here that makes it better. Specifically, the way the game plays. The frame rates are much better. I can't say much for graphics. It looks roughly about the same, but there were some moments in the recording I noticed when I was recording the gameplay that it did kind of degrade in frames, and maybe that's its way of keeping the frame rate up every so often, just eliminating certain processes or details just so it can keep a smoother run. And that's me running on regular P4. I hope P4 Pro and P5 players are getting a much better experience out of that than I am, but geez. And then, like I said, the AI in this game, it's the worst in the world from what I can tell. Like, it just automatically chases you around the map, which is fine in some regards, right? Like, sometimes you want the enemy army to chase after you in its entirety while your allies gain an upper hand, but how does that even work when your allies are dying for no reason? It doesn't make sense. Somebody please just tell me that this is nothing more than a fever dream and we're all in it together. That's how I'm feeling right now about 9 Empires. But we'll see. I will be buying the game. I will do a day 1 stream for it on this channel. So if you guys are interested to see my live actual reactions to the actual game, circle around that time. It'll probably be a Friday night stream most likely, because I'm pretty sure the game drops on a Tuesday. And I got work, so. But we'll see. Who knows? I might be able to fit it in. But till then, like, share, subscribe, share the video with everybody you know. If you guys have any opinions that you want to share about this with me, please leave them in the comments below. Hit us up on the links below in the descriptions. If you guys have any suggestions for other games you want me to review or play, leave those also in the comment section or send it off to the links down below as well. And for my Koei fans, this is one of many things that you guys are getting this year. I will be starting up some Dynasty Warriors gameplay where I will be taking a nice roll back into the past and doing a nice long trip from 2 all the way up to 9, and it is gonna be torturous. But till then, I'm Serge from the Game Room. We out.